this year. They've come close and have the weapons to break through. Will they do it tonight? It's RUNY and Utah coming up next. Round 13 continues from Brooklyn, New York, on your home for Major League Rugby, CBS Sports. In a week that is littered with big matches, none more so than this one, Utah and RUNY. Earlier today, San Diego, they stamped their authority over Glendale at home. The Houston SaberCats are on the road against Toronto tomorrow. Another top four clash rounds out the week's games as Seattle and NOLA. And you can see the standings already affected with that win from San Diego jumping in the second. New York, they can get back in the top four, something they desperately want to do here tonight with a win over Utah. And a very warm welcome to a windy Coney Island tonight. Dan Powell with you alongside former USA Eagle and Hall of Famer Dan Lyle. And Dan, the big question, can RUNY bounce back from that loss at home last week, or do Utah finally get that breakthrough they've been searching for?
Yeah, Utah are a capable team, as they showed against NOLA Gold, running them twice really, really closely. However, you know, they have to be more efficient. They're top in meters gained, but they're not efficient with that ball. They've got to score tries when they have the ball. Now, of course, Utah, you know, are against New York today. New York are a capable side. Man management, game management is key for them. If they're able to boss the field, they're able to put the ball in the right places of the field and score once they get into those places versus trying to run out of their 22, which they did against San Diego. They will come out on top tonight.
For tomorrow on tonight's match, we welcome the third member of our side, Danny Wexelman, who's down on the field now with both captains.
I'm with Tim O'Malley. Tim, your squad faced RUNY earlier this season. It wasn't necessarily the outcome you wanted, but what takeaways did you have from that you're going to bring to today?
Yeah, obviously they're a very good team. They've had a great season and they gave us a bit of a hiding last time. So the things we took out of it was just making sure we play our game, you know, hold the ball. I think we're a good team when we can hold on to the ball and build pressure against teams. So yeah, that's what we'll be looking to do tonight.
It hasn't necessarily been the season that you have wanted, but what is the game plan for the Warriors today?
Yeah, firstly, defence is going to be crucial for us. Like I said, New York's a great team, so we've got to bar up and defend really well first, and then, like I said before, just hold on to the ball when we've got it, build pressure, build phases, and yeah, hopefully we can add some points on today.
Tim, good luck.
Cool, thank you very much. Cheers.
I'm with Mike Petrie. Mike, last week your team suffered just its second loss of the season to San Diego on home turf. So what did you guys do this week to prepare to get back in that top four?
Yeah, it's definitely tough to swallow a loss at home, but you know what, credit San Diego, they're a good side. But we spent the week just looking at that film, learning from it, and taking some lessons away that'll help us coming into this Utah game.
You faced the Warriors earlier this season. Any takeaways from that match that you'll bring to today?
Utah's a strong physical side, and you know it's tough to travel from Salt Lake out to New York City, but you know I have a feeling they'll come out firing today. They've been playing really well lately, and if you give them an opportunity, they definitely take advantage of it. So we've just got to stick to our systems and stay together.
Mike, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's a Saturday night in the city that never sleeps. Will the Roosters crow, or is it time for the Warriors to come out and play? New York versus Utah is coming up. Well, a roller coaster ride it has been thus far for Major League Rugby this year. Will it continue tonight as we see the Utah Warriors making their way out into the turf here at MCU Stadium, the home side, Rugby United New York. Will they be up to the task? That's the question Dan Lyle will ask. We take a look at how that home side lines up in the forwards.
Yeah, possession's going to be key. I'm going to go with Nate Brakely at right lock. He's going to be key in the line out to keep in possession for them.
In the back's just one change as the fleet-footed Australian Luke Hume returns, but the real question remains, how healthy is Carl Marsh as he slots into that fly half role. And Dan, shifting focus now, the Utah Warriors.
Yeah, just going right up against Nate Brakely. It's going to be Sahi Hila. He's left lock. He is their playmaker. He is their go-to guy. He needs to play well tonight.
Yeah, two big changes for Utah in the backs. Don Putty returns to the wing in 14, and Gannon Moore, who was quite an attacking threat in his earlier games, he's back and healthy again in the 13. The benches for both these sides tonight will look like this. For RUNY, the backup for the aforementioned Marsh is the also talented Harry Bennett, while for Utah, Josh Rippey continues his return from a broken leg. He scored a fantastic try last week against New Orleans. He'll be looking to inject that same attacking threat here tonight. The official, Luke Rogan, the Australian, he is in control of tonight's round 13 match, Utah and RUNY. And Dan, final thoughts before the kickoff here?
Yeah, I think that wind's going to be a factor. As it here was the first couple of weeks here in Coney Island. It's blowing in off the ocean from the roller coaster side. So New York is playing with that wind in the first half.
Yeah, definitely a lot of points in the breeze here, Dan, as it comes off the Atlantic, off the coast of New York, as we get a look at John Quill. A welcome return to the side alongside Kyle Sumption. The loose forwards will be very important today, trying to slow this Utah side down. They are known to be explosive. They will shift the ball. They will attack from anywhere on the field, the Warriors.
New loose forward and Dylan Fawcett, you know, tonight moved in from hooker to number 8 there. He used to play at number 8 back in the old days, like with Old Blue New York. So he's got a new position, but a somewhat comfortable one that he's played in the past.
Yeah, the Butcher said he wanted a tighter jersey fit, so he went for the 8. The hooker getting a little loose. There's Josh Reeves, the Brazilian international. His left foot will get us underway here at MCU. As RUNY will receive and get first use of the ball, you see the strength of the wind there as it just holds up into the breeze outside the 22 of New York. Petrie picks up fellow New Yorker in Parry. Foden is back in the pocket. Petrie will go to his right boot. High box kick down to the halfway line. Here's where the Warriors are dangerous, the counter-attack. Firstly with Semple. He's well met though from the RUNY chase.
Mo! Taken down by your own guy.
That one, great defensive effort there from RUNY to start this down as they hold the runner up and force the turnover. Exactly what they're looking for with this breeze at their back.
Yeah, absolutely. Great exit out of their own half. Great box kick by Mike Petrie there. Put it up in the air. Great chase down as well. And of course they held it up. You hold the ball up off the ground, it's a turnover.
There you see Dylan Fawcett settling into that role, number 8 with that tackle. Heavily involved there, along with the hooker in McIntosh. Gets his start. Very well supported, Kalen McIntosh.
Binds.
First look at the set piece.
Set.
One straight down, we'll reset.
Bring your feet up.
Dan, you spent a lot of time
Down on your back, bring
up
your
front
feet up
there
underneath.
through your career. How important is this initial scrum for both these sides to mark their turf or feel out the opposition pack?
Yeah, we got a left-hand scrum here, so Dylan Fawcett at the back, you know, I used to have the clothespins on the back there, you know, getting ready to break off. So look for a back row move off of here, but we need to see a square, straight pushing scrum. Here's what the referee's going to look for. Easy feed by Mike Petrie. They've got plenty of options.
Set. Early.
Free kick, Fawcett. Explores this blind side. He's isolated though. The Butcher as he's brought down outside the 22. RUNY will look to play quick here with numbers to the right. Parry. He takes the settler first. Now Petrie wants quick ball. Gets it. As Quill goes. Now again to his right, Marsh. Just a few weeks with a niggling groin injury. Marsh needs to be back to full fitness. Such an attacking weapon for Rugby United. That's him with the ball now, Carl Marsh. He succumbs to the Utah defense though. Midfield here for RUNY, just outside the 22. Early on as Fawcett. He'll get another touch here. Don't be surprised if you see the workload increase. He's got a big engine, Dylan Fawcett. As is that man, John Quill. His second touch through this set of phases. Breakley now, a man that Dan Lyle said to watch closely. The big number 5. Foden, wide, quick hands. Now Wallace Sims. The Englishman, one of 2 wingers for RUNY. With outstanding footwork. Speaking of outstanding, how about the pass? How about the offload? McDonald dragged out inches from the line here. It's RUNY knocking on the door, looking for early points here against the Warriors. There's Petrie. He's tangled up with the breakdown, slows down the attack just slightly. Oh, big turnover coming for the Warriors there as they get the penalty. And this is a piggyback out of their own end, but worrying signs early on there with those interchanges, Dan.
Yeah, multiple phase attack. New York patient, taking Utah through multiple phases. We saw the forwards dominating the run, getting the gain line each time. Quill, Breakley, and Fawcett. But then again, right at the key moment there, Utah jumps in.
Wow, take a look at that breeze there, Dan. That thing is just bent right back to the 22.
Here we go. Quick tap penalty off of a scrum. Here's Fawcett, as we talked about. He's got great feet. He's low to the ground, takes the ball forward. This is the first of multiple phases. And Petrie, again, offload to Fawcett there again. He's a little bit isolated, but he gets the offload there, and unfortunately, they were by themselves, and they turn over a penalty.
Line out for Utah is good as William takes it. The ball begins to push forward here for the Warriors.
Still playing your advantage, Red.
Advantage going the way of the Warriors here as you hear Luke Rogan.
Say more!
This is a great maul though from the Warriors. No need to worry about the win, Dan, if you're just going to maul this ball 50 yards up the field as the Warriors have done here. And RUNY, they've got the skates on as they go backwards just outside their own 22, and an advantage for the Warriors to boot. As Reeves finds Moore. Oh, Moore, he's trouble. Gannon Moore gets loose, finds Putty on the outside. Many a time we've called Don Putty, and it shut the gates when he sees a little daylight. Now they crash forward, first with Jensen. Williams again. Dynamic number 6, Lance Williams. Iker comes down this short side, Gannon Moore.
Away now.
Williams. Just off the shoulder here. Off lever is Williams, just looking for that ball again. You've got to watch him. As Reeves goes to the line and picks up his fullback in Semple. Little block play there, not working as RUNY read it. Williams with another touch. Now they come wide, McClellan.
Playing advantage, slowing it down.
Options both sides here for the Warriors.
7 blue.
Become a little stagnant here, right outside the 22 of RUNY. No advantage coming. There's the penalty for not rolling away. And normally you'd say an easy 3 points here with an experienced kicker as Josh Reeves is, but into this breeze, Dan, do you risk taking the 3?
Yeah, it's a great call. They were kicking ahead, but I think he's going to go to the corner and look for a line out. They've got some advantage here. Look, that was a wonderful ball. Certainly, I think the game management side of New York is not there, from a sense that they have to stop that ball early. They have to just pull it down. They can't let them get that momentum. Once they get momentum, then all of a sudden that this Utah side gets their tail up. They might score some tries. And now they've got a line out not more than 10 meters out.
In and set, please.
There you get a shot. One of the most scenic rugby fields possibly in the world as the famous Coney Island Fairgrounds sit behind MCU Stadium. Lieber with the throw. 1 point.
Go around now.
Not surprisingly, Utah looking to go to the maul yet again. They had such great success with it moments ago. Another penalty. And now Luke Rogan calls time here. There could be a conversation between himself and captain Mike Petrie.
There's a couple now.
Yeah.
There was 2 advantages. We got 7. As it spins around, he's just gone inside and taken the ball carrier.
Yeah.
Next one's going to the bin.
Yep.
Have a chat.
Yeah, they're just talking about coming through the center of the mall, not coming around the outside. That's the second on John Quill. He got it from not rolling away as well. And then the pull down from the long driving ball early. It's giving them a fair warning to say, hey guys, you got to pick it up here, or I'm going to give a yellow card.
Time back on. On the side of the mall.
Reeves once again looking to the sideline here. No thought of taking 3 points. RUNY, one of the better defenses in the league. I believe second in points against at the moment. San Diego, another great win for them early today over Glendale. They lead the league with their defense. We saw those two sides clash here last week in an absolute nail-biter. Now Lever with the throw, goes short to Elkington. May have been turned over, is turned over. Handling error from the Warriors. Execution, letting Utah down there. As New York will look to buy a little bit of space here with a couple of forwards before clearing. Wallace Sims in the pocket, under pressure though. Charge down, will come to the 22. Good pressure from Uhila, the big man.
Sorry, you've passed it back, but there's no advantage.
What an intimidating
There's
moment
no
that
advantage,
must
so it's
be.
gonna be a scrum for the
Probably did
knock-on.
that a bit of your own back in the day, Dan Lyle, getting off the back
Sorry,
there,
guys.
scaring some of
Been
those
passed
poor
back by
English
Blue, but there's
fly
no
halves and
advantage from the
wingers.
lost forward out of the line.
Yeah, certainly
You're
you
gonna
want to
scrum.
put pressure on the kicker there,
Lost
but
forward.
you know, this is a Utah. This is the pre-game story that we talked about, that we scripted out. That they're going to
Sorry,
gain
guys,
meters.
that's
They
my
gain
fault.
meters in that driving ball. They got the penalties. They
need
kicked
your
a
feet up
touch.
under-
They get a
so
line
you
out,
hit your
and then all of a sudden they turn the ball over. That's the efficiency that they didn't have
Yeah, you
throughout
too
the year
far extended,
almost.
that's why you got
That's
down.
another point here of not coming away with points, particularly you know when you're 5 meters out.
Crouch. Ball. Set.
Early push from Utah. Referee Rogan
You boys are going to come forward and take the hit. Yeah?
gonna have his hands full tonight with both these packs.
It's an interesting dynamic, this front row. You know, he talks about them coming forward, getting set, you know, not more than 2 or 3 inches apart, and then they're always kind of semi-moving in the middle of it. But they got to hit square, and the ball's going to be fed in accurately.
Set.
Yeah, we're going to reset this one as well.
Let's sort it out. Let's go and get it cleaned up then. Yeah. Hey, you got blood. Let's clean it up. Okay.
There you see
Right.
referee Brogan.
Coming in, and we're
He's
going to
telling
start
Rochford he needs to get some blood taken care of. Big boys looking to settle their differences up front here. RUNY scrum just 5 out from their try line. Petrie,
Fine.
they'll have to put in if they can get this platform set.
Nine, don't touch him.
Fawcett off the back. Oh, great run from Fawcett, the butcher. Bullocks his way up towards the 22-metre line. Now Petrie goes back to Wallace Sims in the pocket.
Stop in front. One, stop in front.
Doesn't get great contact on that, but the win very favourable here in the first half for Rugby United. That goes up over the halfway line. It'll be a Utah throw-in though.
No, it went out that time, but you need to stop in front.
Yeah, it's a bit of a 1-2-3 strategy. We talked about New York needing to gain field position, exit their own half. Once again, they've done it very, very well. Ball out of number 8's hand. Big run by Fawcett, and a great clearing kick. Now it's time to pressure on this line out. Let's see if the Rugby United New York can or will put pressure against Utah in this lineup.
A look for Jensen.
It's fine. Good contest.
Donald goes up to contest. Utah do well as Iker steps in, lets one go before he finds Reeves. Still with the Warriors here as Reeves moves this ball Wide to O'Malley. Very impressed with the combination of Reeves and O'Malley. You think that those two will continue to grow in confidence the longer they're playing with each other? Only good things coming up for Utah as their penalty will give Reeves an opportunity to drive this into the RUNY half. Saying that, Dan, this wind, we thought it was going to die down a little bit. Stayed pretty consistent though.
Yeah, that's a 12, 14, 15 meter kick there. Unfortunately for New York, Fawcett got a little bit too aggressive, came over the top there and gave them another penalty. Exiting your half is one thing, putting pressure on the line out the second they almost stole the ball there in New York, but then giving away a little bit of needless penalty. Look, if you're the coaching staff for New York, you're not necessarily upset with Fawcett being aggressive, but giving too many penalties away will take its toll over time.
Great take again from Jensen under pressure. Ball spills back for O'Malley. Inside centre, jinking run up to the 40. Now the Warriors again, literally crawling their way forward. Uhila, big man.
Ball's up, play on.
Now Reeves again, quick hands, almost an intercept there from Fawcett. Well, it seems like all the big moments so far in this match have involved the name Dylan Fawcett. A busy start from the Butcher. Riker.
Backwards.
That one spills back under pressure here. RUNY may have turned this over. Looks like McDonald's come through and stolen it. Petrie knows no one's home. Looks to drop this ball over. Nice right hand bounce. He had Luke Hume streaming through there. Bounce of the ball. Beats Hume, who has become a father recently, and got a chance to talk with him before the game. And Dan, you've got kids, you know how much that can change your life so quickly. It seems to have really becoming of him. He seems to be in a very happy, settled place.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you become a dad and you're a professional athlete, sometimes you've got to be selfish. But when you have a kid, especially a young kid, and you're up late at night, you're sometimes the sport of rugby comes second, and it's growing well on Luke Hume though.
Sure, RUNY and the fans will be happy to see Hume back in the lineup tonight as Reeves will look to clear. Ball sits in the wind. There's the man we talked about, Hume. Little chip over the top. May have put too much on that one. Out in the full. Will come all the way back to the point where he kicked it for a line out for the Warriors. Still 0-0 here after 15 minutes at MCU. Tight game. Utah have done a good job of keeping RUNY out of their own end. An early break by Fawcett to McDonald was thwarted. Then you already mentioned this breeze. It has to be at least, you'd think 2 to 3 tries perhaps, if playing a correct territory game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the wind is also bringing the temperature down as well, which is going to make the ball fly that much less, into this wind. So it's imperative that New York score some tries or score some points. It feels like in this first half.
Miller. Those opening 15 really feels as though the Warriors have looked the most threatening, even running into this wind. And just as you say that, the jinx comes out. Another timeout here, and you get that feeling, Dan, that perhaps Luke Rogan's patience with Rugby United is running out.
These guys just slowing it down. He could have rolled, and he didn't even attempt to. Yeah. Have a word to your boys, because you leave me very little options but to pin somebody. Yeah? Have a chat. Yeah.
There you hear it. Very little options left for Luke Rogan if these infringements, in particular at the breakdown, continue against RUNY.
It's a little more leeway in the middle of the field. The pass breakdown penalty was near the own line. If you have a feeling that if it was near that own line, he might have pulled that yellow card out. He's given them a second warning. Feels like next time, or I think we know next time, that the card's going to come out of that pocket.
Better kick there from Reeves into the 22 off New York. New Zealand born, plays for the Brazilian national team, the two-piece. We've seen him in the ARC the last few years. Very effective fly half, a big left boot. He'll look to use this breeze in the second half for the Warriors. as they continue to push here, 5 metres out from the line. Opening points yet to come. The Warriors looking to put their name on the score sheet first here tonight. There's Vandenberg. He's taken 5 out in the shadows of the goal post.
Holding on, first arriving player.
Dan, you talked about this the first time they went in. Execution in this red zone is just lacking for the Warriors.
It is, but I think the more important thing that we're seeing here is that the Rugby United are attacking the breakdown. Yes, they've given away a few penalties, but it has to be a tactic or strategy that this coaching staff has put in. They want to be more impactful with the breakdown. They want to be more aggressive at the breakdown. They've given away those penalties, but they certainly have now taken over this ball and cleared it from their own lines. They're just first man clear away. If you're the second man in, you've got a free play at that ball. That's the great thing about rugby. It's an open contest for possession, and Rugby United came out on top there, cleared their own lines with the penalty and now the throw-in.
Absolutely. Quill and Sumption just teaming up there, the loose forwards. We talked about keeping an eye on those two. Very busy at the breakdown. Well taken. Now they'll maul it forward.
That's fine.
Force it at the back. Petrie just weighing up his options here as he assesses the Utah defensive line. Comes down this short side, Wallace Sims links up with Foden. Has Wallace Sims back on his outside, little kick forward. Beautiful stuff from the winger. And Utah, they're forced to scramble back to their 5 metre line to save the day there. But the interchange from the two Englishmen in Foden and Wallace Sims, absolutely sublime.
Well, sometimes there's a little bit of slip or a little bit of buttery fingers, and Wallace Sims, it looked like that ball was going to slide through, but here we go. Up the wing, little interchange here. Watch this little, oh, is it going down? And it makes the kick. Either way, very effective, good run. They had a penalty advantage, and they certainly took advantage of it.
Great work there from the winger. Catch to drop it right on his foot, moving at quite a pace as well. Tremendous skill. That one spills forward.
The top of the line.
Initial knock on against New York though. Second against Utah. So the scrum for the Warriors here on their 5 metre line. Just wonder if head coach Mike Tolkien is starting to peek up at that clock. Almost 20 minutes gone, no score, knowing that the second 40 is going to be into this win.
Yeah, key here is to hit stable square is for Rugby United, not give away a penalty, let them clear the lines. This ball is going to go into the wind, so you're going to get a good possession from this. Stable, easy possession for Rugby United here in Utah. One break off the back of the scrum here, set up one phase and clear your lines.
Riker with the put in. Looks like the New York scrum starting to take over a little bit there as Reeves crashes that one forward.
Step back, stay there, stay there.
Semple in the pocket. Quick catch and kick there under pressure. Just outside the 22.
Water, boys, let's have some water.
We will take a short break. When we return, the first half action continues. It's 0-0 here. A scoreline few would have predicted coming into it. It's the Warriors on the road against Rugby United New York.
Welcome back to MCU. I'm with RUNY's head coach, Mike Tolkien. Coach, it's chilly down here. What are you seeing from your guys so far right now?
I think a little lack of discipline. We're giving away too many penalties. We just need to get the ball in our hands a little more and play with it.
Utah has come out. They've brought the intensity. That wasn't necessarily the case the first time you guys played them this season, but they've brought the intensity this game.
Yeah, we got off to a fast start out there in Utah, and it helped us a lot. Today we're giving them the ball too much, so we just need to get it, keep it, and put the pressure back on them.
There's still a lot of rugby to play in the second half of this season, but do you feel a sense of urgency to get your guys back in that top four?
I think just getting back to the way we're playing. We played better earlier in the season, and we want to get back to playing that. If we can do that, the rest will fall into place.
Coach, thank you so much.
No problem.
Guys.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Mike Tolkien. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to get his boys lined up and firing come finals time, Dan.
Number 4
yeah,
in
they
particular,
did start out
Tim.
this break. They did a couple of different thoughts here. They put, they pointed to the post for a potential kick, and now they're going to go to the corner. I'm not exactly sure, if points are going to really matter in this game. Certainly for the first 20 minutes, it's been 0-0. You might have gone for that, and of course, you kicked it directly out of touch.
Scrum.
Yeah, of course, on the penalty, has to go over the sideline in the field of play. As soon as it crosses the try line and goes over the sideline, this is the result. We'll come back out for a scrum for Utah.
Give a gap. I don't want to see the head pressure.
That man right there, Foden, just overcooked that one. He's kind of trying to plead his case that the corner post has fallen over and that one was in the field of play, but nonetheless, here we are with the scrum.
Yeah, if I'm the captain on the field, I would have gone for post. That's why I was a little stumbling over my own words there. I was trying to figure out why they were going to the corner. They're looking for a maximum amount of points there. I think you need to tick the clock over. 3, 6, it opens up. You want this Utah team to be chasing the game. You want them to be forced into making mistakes. I think 3 points would have been a better option there, Dan.
Well, we heard Danny on the sideline talking to Mike Tolkien. They got off such a fast start that it almost forced Utah into that sloppy style of game last time they played, Dan. You're absolutely right. No points after 20 minutes. You take the 3, but again, their scrum looking more and more impressive as this game wears on. Gannon Moore. He crashes this one forward to his own 22.
Still inside 9.
Back they go to Reeves, shapes the kick, now runs as he goes wide to Semple. Semple to Putty, one-on-one with Hume. What a battle that's going to be out in that wing there. Hume versus Putty.
Number 10, offside.
No advantage for offside. We'll come all the way back here for a penalty for the Warriors, which probably explains why Reeves tried to run the ball.
Number 10, offside.
There he is, Luke Hume. He's been around quite a few years now. One of the great characters of the game, Luke Hume.
One of the most frustrating things as a coach is to see penalties given away inside their own 22. We've talked about this win. Allow them to run a phase or two, make them kick the ball, get a line out, maybe even they kick it out, don't kick it out, and you get a counterattack. This is something that Mike Petrie and Cathal Marsh and the senior leadership of this team are going to want to clean up.
And there we talked about the wind ad nauseum. You get a good look at it. Very stiff breeze here. The Warriors, they're running into the first half, so half the job is done for Utah. As Elkington now takes this one up towards the halfway line. Iker finds Jensen, who plays to Reeves. Quick hands O'Malley out to Moore. Gannon Moore, one of those centre players. You just want to get the ball too early and let him work his magic. As this one's turned over for RUNY, now Petrie picks up Sumption. Assistant coach up at Army.
Didn't survive the clean out.
West
Stay
Point,
there.
just 2 hours up the road here from Coney Island, where we are right now. Now Petrie finds Marsh. Matina. Haven't called his name at all tonight, Matina. His first touch, indicative of how this game has gone for New York. Very tight thus far, as Petrie will go in again here. Marsh, flat-footed, dummies. Now down for Foden. Quick hands to Breakley. Breakley gets out of one tackle, can't escape the clutches of Williams though as he brings him down. Now Hume, this is where he's dangerous. Broken play, Hume into the 22. Now, big decision coming up here. They're going to tap quickly. Petrie.
Number 2's onside. On.
Brings it down to force it. They've got numbers to the right. Must go that way. Marsh inside. Hume. Beats one. Hume. Can't get away from the cover defence though. RUNY looking dangerous. Utah down to 14. Jensen. He's injured in back play on the 22 for the Warriors. Numbers to the left. They've got to come. Wallace Sims pleading with his inside players. Look for the cross kick here. Marsh, the wind, the only thing that could really ruin this play for them. Needs quick ball here. Petrie, Marsh, quick hands will do it. Foden, long ball, Wallace Sims, corner. There's the opening try. It's Wallace Sims who dots it down for RUNY.
Sustained pressure, discipline. It's a hallmark of all quality championship-driven teams. They have to go through phases. They need to be patient. Once or twice there, it looked like Utah were over the top of that ball and were trying to steal it. But ultimately, as you said, Dan, they were pleading for the ball to come out wide. They had sucked everybody in through those multiple phases, and the ball went over the top with a great pass by Ben Foden to his screaming winger for the try.
Connor Wallace Sims, a 7-star for Old Blue. Now plying his trade on the left wing for Rugby United. Matina, he'll have the conversion. Wind will actually help the right footer here as he'll bend this back from the far upright. 5 points to 0. Flags stay down, unsuccessful. Score remains 5-0, 27 minutes gone here in Brooklyn, New York, as we take one last look at the try. Great read from Foden as he saw Loudy crash in on the outside centre, O'Keefe. Great read there from the experienced former England star. Crowd will brave some unseasonably cold conditions here in New York for tonight's game.
Play on.
As Utah managed to reclaim the restart. Williams.
Play on.
Goes run, turned over again. Sumption. Quick hands to Professor Rochford. Now down for Wallace Sims, the try scorer. What a run from him, backing up that try just moments ago. Marsh, this is better stuff from New York as they go wide. O'Keefe, oh, how about the tackle from Putty? It's a real bone rattler. It doesn't slow down Rugby United though. Little kick comes down off the ricochet. Now in the hands of Hume. In the 22. Well, this last couple of minutes, the RUNY Roosters have found their voice as Foden spots a little gap, almost gets through.
Line lost forward.
Advantage here for the Warriors. And they are a side that can hurt you
outside,
on turnover ball.
You're outside.
Lever,
Still
not the man they were looking
Red.
for. Semple floats a long pass out to Williams. Williams with a bit of space and some support. Putty. He doesn't lose his footing there. Putty could be gone. Don't worry about that. He's still gone, Don Putty. Putty beats another one. Comes to Marsh. Gets around Marsh. Gets around Wallace Sims. Links up with Moore. It's coast to coast for the Warriors. And Gannon Moore dots it down under the post. What a game this has turned into.
This is a classic counterattack. This is something that Don Putty has done his entire career. He sees space in front of him, and he seriously has some gas and the ability to make people miss. What a wonderful counterattack.
Look at this from Putty, folks. Just sit back and enjoy the footwork of one of the best in the country. The left foot, the fan. Goes to the left foot again. Another fan. One more left foot just for good measure before he picks up the former Kansas City Blue in Gannon Moore. Oh, I just thought this game had turned down. I thought the ascendancy was starting to go to New York, and then just in the blink of an eye, this is what the Warriors are capable of.
Yeah, it's something that I talked to Kimball Kerr, their GM, earlier in the week to say, well, what's been missing for you guys? What's really been the challenge? And they know that they have talented players. They know they have wonderful counter-attackers, people that can take the ball like Don Putty does here and step off their feet. They just haven't had those players on the field all at the same time. And even a player like Gannon Moore, who scored that try there, he's somebody. He's an Eagle. He's come back. He's come into this side, and they certainly want to be able to play with momentum and play with those skillful players in that counterattack phases.
There is Gannon Moore, playing for Kansas City. Packed his bags, went down to New Zealand. From all reports, did tremendously well, and he's come back and himself not only a professional contract with the Warriors, but like you said, Dan, start with the USA national side as well as Reeves. Will clear this ball. The wind just holds it up again. Hume does well. He's lost the headgear, Hume. Quick wardrobe change. Very fashionable rugby players. As Marsh down the short side finds the cowboy in O'Keefe. Now Petrie with Assumption. That one's struck forward though from the former BYU star. Now Dan, if I would have told you at the start of this game, looking at the conditions and who was playing, that the team running into the wind would be winning at halftime, it'd be a pretty long odd bet.
Yeah, but we also have to take into consideration that this team is not the capacity, New York, excuse me, is not the capacity, you know, that they usually are at. They're not playing consistent rugby. Here we are, Assumption with the break and offload. Wallace Sims is absolutely breaking on the field. This could be, you know, the second try, and all of a sudden, bam! That's Potty. That is the man who ultimately gets the ball back here. Ricochet ball.
Well, you've got to think it's a 14-point swing almost, Dan, because we go from that attacking play from RUNY down in Utah's end to 85 meters down the other end. Putty pulls off the big hit that stops RUNY from potentially getting an opportunity to score. Putty makes the counter break off Williams' offload that sets up Gannon Moore. A big 60 seconds there for the Warriors winger.
Yeah, turning defense into offense. It was Don Putty's name right there, and certainly if they're going to this half just with 2 points down, or excuse me, even if they score some more points, it's something that that they're going to be very, very, very happy with.
Barnes. 6.
Big closing few moments here before the halftime break. A lot of points on offer.
You need to get your feet up underneath you. Yeah, you're overextending and having to chase.
Grogan just giving a few scrummaging tips to McClellan there. I'm not sure how welcome they would be, but it's giving them anyway.
Crouch.
Look at Lance Williams.
Barnes.
Dynamic number 6. There's his offload that set Don Putty free moments ago. Free kick to New York, early push. Butcher, force it, takes a tap, comes to Hume down this short side. Hume, little kick through, needs a bounce, gets it. Hume, oh, how about the pass? Called forward from Hume to force it. Well, the little winger, he had just done amazing work in the lead up to that. That last pass just breaks the heart of RUNY and their fans.
You're too far extended, fellas. You're going all the way out and talk to them about coming forward, but you need your feet up underneath you.
Next job. They're talking next scrum. We just had a wonderful play by Luke Hume there, dribbling the ball down. Quick tap by Fawcett here. He is a man with a mission today. He's been all over the field. Luke Hume here drops it on his right foot. It screams over. He regathers the ball, inside pass, and they just called forward here.
Crouch.
Tough to see from that angle, very, very close.
Set.
The Warriors scrum going backwards. Great work there from Micah. Hold on to that ball. Would have been a forward pass.
Step back. Stay there, boys.
Moore just snuck in front of his scrum half. Reeves. Look to buy some breathing room. Won't get a chance to enjoy it though as Hume goes quickly. Wallace Sims. Now O'Keefe. O'Keefe jinks him one. Can't get away from his opposite number in Moore though as he takes him down just outside the 22 here of the Warriors. Marsh back inside to his fellow countryman of birth. Enforce it. Marsh to the line again. And that's where Cahill Marsh is at his best. When he goes to the line with runners inside and out. Ask questions of the defence that sometimes they just don't have the answer to. It was Matina.
Step back, step back.
Stepped in at fly half in the absence of Marsh over the last few weeks or so.
No
Harry
one,
Bennett,
no!
the young Australian on the bench tonight. If needed. Short ball. Comes down to Parry.
Ball's there, ball
Seems
is
to be
up.
when New York get themselves into trouble.
He's a first arriving
Just
player.
slow
Ball
things
is up.
down through the phases, just a touch too much, and now Utah with the turnover.
Number
Penalty
6.
goes against
On
the
his feet,
Warriors.
holding on.
Holding on there. Hume
Play on.
taps quickly. Hume right down the middle. What a tackle from Semple. A try saver against Hume there. Otherwise, it was under the post for the number 14. Now Petrie. Dummies, Petrie's through. Needs support, finds it, enforce it. He was denied earlier. They won't deny the big man now. He gets the 5-pointer right under the post for Rugby United.
If you're Coach Mike Tolkien, you're biting your fingernails. You're seeing all these balls get popped off the ground. You're seeing all these 50-50 passes going. Maybe that's the impetus. Maybe that's the confidence that this New York team needs. They need to have go-forward ball. They need to have multiple phases. And so while it is nerve-wracking as a coach, they're able to move the ball forward. They're a quick tap, steal off the possession, and certainly scoring a try. And of course, it's Dylan Fawcett who's been all over the park.
Great stuff there from Fawcett. I think you're right. I think as much as it is nerve-wracking, when they've played that more expansive style, it's worked for them. They get bogged down is when they're causing when they get bogged down is when those turnovers are coming for the Warriors. Let's take a look again at this one, Dan. Quick tap from Hume is where it all started.
Yeah, it was just a quick tap, and then Luke Hume, watch him off the ground here. It was a quick pass, and there's a ball. Just great pickup there. Another pop off the ground to a prop moving forward, and then all of a sudden, it's a quick. Mike Petrie makes a break, gets an offload. You know, Petrie's done that a couple times. You know, the old man making a few of these breaks. He won't mind me calling him an old man. You know, not that we aren't up here as well, but making the break and then making that great pass to Dylan.
The young scrum halves watching at home. Watch Mike Petrie there. Watch what he does. He looks every time he gets to a breakdown. He gets a little peek up at that first defender and very patient. He saw that Johnny Iker had just snuck a little bit away from that ruck. That was all it took for Petrie. 7 points on the board. 12 points to 7. The home side,
No advantage going
they had the
backwards
lead.
under pressure. Lost forward.
There'll be some more pressure to come here before the halftime break though, as the handling error against RUNY. Be a Warriors scrum here right on the 22.
Last one was better.
It seems as though Rugby United, Dan, their scrum has definitely upped the ante in the last 15 minutes. It seems to be getting the better of the Warriors scrum.
Yeah, it seems to me it's about the height. Watch Rugby United New York and the way that they get lower than Utah. And they're able to then use the entire force of their all 8 together. They're really bound tight. They get this really good grip with each other, and they don't move their feet. Key to scrummaging. Their feet don't move much, and they're able to push after the ball's put in.
9, away 9.
Okay. Flat, Reeves. There's a dummy in traffic. Uhila. Uhila, great run there from the number 4.
advantage.
He's the
12,
physical
13
leader
offside,
of this
sorry.
side. Quick hands, Jensen needs to go again more. Has his winger on mark. Could have passed earlier, it won't matter though. It's Putty. He set one up. He gets his own 5-pointer now. Sir Don Putty in the corner, and the Warriors, they tie this up.
Don Putty with the second try there. This is about playing flat they're on their attack. This is about the ability for Utah to gain the advantage line by playing flat. And of course, Ohila here, man, we talked about him right in pregame. If he goes forward, they go forward, and he certainly went forward there, way over the gain line. Ball out wide. That's another lock with a great pass, offload again. Don Putty works strengths, gets over for Ben Foden there.
No,
that's a worry for the Warriors.
Okay.
Sayu Hiller down. Looks to be a right knee there, Dan. That would be a big loss. He's provided a lot to go forward for this Warriors side tonight.
Yes, we will have a restart.
Look at the size. When I saw Sayu Hiller play, Dan, he was the guy who really made me glad that I don't play rugby anymore. That I'm up here with guys like you now. It's like just a gigantic human being.
Yeah, he is he's a leader as well. You know, that go forward is not just about his ability physically and how powerful he is as a human being. He sees the game well. He's able to step off of his feet. He's able to offload the ball, and he's really able to pick his moments. It's not always about strength and speed in this game. It's about the smarts that you're able to use your physical gifts for.
Conversion unsuccessful. We are all locked up here, 12 points apiece. It has been the Don Putty half for the Warriors as we take one last look. It was great hands all around. Jensen, Gannon Moore made it difficult for his winger there, held onto that ball just a touch too long, but even with the attention of Ben Foden, dots that one down. Williams gets underneath that restart outside his 22.
Take him back.
Cannot kick this out in the full. Although Reeves is looking for the halftime whistle and gets it as well. 40 minutes in the books here at MCU Park. And an unlikely scoreline. 12 points apiece as the sides head to the dressing rooms. 40 minutes gone. When we return, we'll take a look at all the highlights from the first half and continue the build-up to the second half as this round 13 clash continues. It's the Warriors. It's RUNY in Brooklyn, New York.
Folks, if you still haven't checked us out on our social media channels, I promise you're missing out. For up-to-date information on everything RUNY, has an inside look at your favorite players, and a few laps along the way, be sure to follow at Rugby United New York and help you empire.
He's ready. Varnich over. Number 6 on his feet, holding on. Play on.
Hey, do I have any reads coming out of this break? No. Okay, just give me a heads up when I got those.
Are you sure?
Welcome back to MCU Stadium in Brooklyn, New York. Halftime here, 12 points apiece, all locked up between Rugby United New York and the Utah Warriors. And Dan, first half highlights, there wasn't a lot until the back end of that first half, and then that really opened up firstly for New York.
Yeah, certainly Mike Petrie, great pass over the top. Ben Foden gets a floater to his countryman. Wallace Sims dots it down. That was after multiple phases. They were patient, and they had a great game plan if they were patient.
And then the Warriors struck back tit for tat. Don Putty, really the star of the first 40 minutes for me was this man, the winger Don Putty. He set this try up for his outside centre. You'll see him looming up there on his right shoulder, Gannon Moore. He'll bring this one around underneath the post. That gave the Warriors the lead 7 points to 5. But RUNY, they were able to strike right back with a try of their own.
Yeah, multiple meters gained there by Utah. Luke Hume with a quick tap. This is the offloading game that we talked about. Maybe that speculative 50-50 that drives coaches nuts, but the balls keep popping up. They keep recycling possession. Ball goes down. Mike Petrie sees that there's no guard on the outside. Fakes, does it for me at Dylan Fawcett. Man of the moment with the try there.
RUNY thought they were going to the sheds with a 12 points to 7 lead. The Warriors, though, they had plans of their own. It was beautiful hands, forwards and backs interchanging here. The casualty, though, Sio Hiller. His charging run here would eventually lead to an injury that saw the big man leave the field for the Warriors. They get the try at the back of that, though. Great hands. Jensen does well. Moore, already one to his name, sets up the second, and Putty, under the attention from Foden, dots it down. That left us all locked up at 12 points apiece after 40 minutes. As we take a look at the first half summaries, well, 2 tries apiece, a conversion apiece, doesn't get any tighter than that.
Yeah, the Utah have got to have some confidence playing into that win, and they're going to have an ability in the second half to play with that win. It might give them the advantage. Utah are a quality side when they have ball in hand, as they've shown with Don Putty with those 2 tries.
Yeah, they certainly are. A lot of points to look at here as we get into the build-up for the second half. RUNY at home, they must know it now that San Diego have beaten Glendale. The chance for them to get back in the top 4, they have to get the win here, though. What do they do in the second half to turn this around, Dan?
Yeah. Second half, they're going to have to play some ball with the ball in hand. They're going to have to challenge themselves in order, to keep, while keeping that ball in hand, to play the possession game into this win in the second half.
We'll continue the build-up to the second half when we return. All the action here from Brooklyn, New York. Coney Island in the background. It's RUNY, it's the Warriors, right here on CBS Sports.
United New York.
Welcome back to MCU. It is Pride Night here, and I talked to the team owner, James Kennedy, earlier with RUNY, and he made a message really loud and clear that rugby is for all. The pre-game match between two internationally gay rugby teams was fantastic. There are rainbow banners around the stadium that will be signed by teams who come in throughout the rest of the season. They'll auction those off. And the best part about today is that some of the players decided to wear rainbow laces, guys. So Pride Night here at MCU, it's been a fantastic night so far. There's so many people out here to support the LGBTQ community. And RUNY just wants to make sure that everyone knows that rugby is for all. They've got their arms wide open. Now I want to bring in for you the Warriors' assistant head coach, Stevie Scott. Stevie, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem at all.
So as we go into halftime, the score is tied so far. Your team's come out to play. It's a little chilly here, but it doesn't seem to be bothering them.
No, we had a very good 40 minutes into the wind. We started the game really, really well. You know, I mean, we got a good drive from our own 22 to the far 22, and I think the players got some confidence from that. So we just took every little phase by phase and built into the game, and we're happy to go in at half-time 12-all with a strong breeze behind.
What does it take in the second half to come back and win this thing?
Yeah, I think it's a big thing, as you see in the first half. I think it's important that the second half we play in the right areas of the field and we look after the ball, because you've seen if we cough the ball up or give the ball to New York, they can play. And I think that's the biggest threat. You know, I mean, they scored 2 tries there. We just play in quickly, and I mean, that is the biggest threat they have.
The first half of this season hasn't necessarily gone your team's way, but you still have 6 matches to go and a lot to build on. What are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, I think I'm most looking forward to the second half. But I think, no, you're right. I think we had a tough start to the season. You know, we were winning well against Glendale and we were winning well against Nola, and we lost 8 games just in the last few seconds of the game. And it was, I think the boys took a bit of hit in their confidence there, but we're just building week by week now. And you know, we've been in this position before at half-time where we could come back and win games. And in the second half is so important to the club and how we take this forward.
Stevie, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Scott.
Tonight at 10 Eastern, CBS Sports Network is live from New Mexico with some Muay Thai madness as fighters go pound for pound at Lion Fight 54. Don't miss the main event. Uslamani Santai squares off with Amy Purney for the super flyweight title on the 24 home of CBS Sports. And of course, Dan Santai, already a world champion at 48 kilos, moving up to 50 kilos for this fight against Perney. The Scottish bomber. She controversial win in her last match over in the UK. Maybe the judges are a bit favourable to the hometown, and now she goes down. You're looking at me like you're not watching much Muay Thai in your spare time.
I am an expert in Muay Thai. I know the Scottish Muay Thai discipline much more than I do any other discipline. Of course, with the last name Lyle, I'm a Muay Thai Scotsman at heart.
I like it, and I like that we've got a second half coming up right after this, as Rugby United and Utah, they are locked up at 12 points apiece. As we get a look at Luke Rogan, a tough opening 40 for him, controlling the forwards in particular, as there were some issues at the scrum early on. We saw him talk to both captains throughout the opening half. He'll be looking for a little bit of a smoother second 40 here from both sides.
Yeah, he was patient. You know, he gave the sides a little bit of warning a couple times. He tried to keep the ball flowing, the game moving, you know, even with this weather, and certainly I think he played a good part in the first half.
Good to see Sire Uhila back on the field for the Warriors, a man who will be just as important for the opposite side, Dylan Fawcett. If Don Putty was a star for the Warriors, this man, he was a star for Rugby United. He got a try, but he was involved in setting one up as well, Dan.
Yeah, he was all over the field. He's got great offload there. Certainly that led to an early penalty, but he's breaking off the scrum. This is exactly what you want to do as a number 8. You want to set up the first phase possession, and you want to be able to show up on the hip of your number 9.
A big second half will be needed from the number 8, Dylan Fawcett. Usually plays his rugby at hooker. He'll wear the 2 jersey. Maybe the try-scoring feats of his Eagles teammate Joe Talfetti has inspired him. A bit more running tonight from the Butcher. We're moments away from kickoff here for the second half. It will be Rugby United in the boot of Carl Marsh. The Leinster fly half. Calls New York home now as he gets us underway here for the second stanza. 40 minutes left to play in this round 13 clash. RUNY with a spot in the top 4, beckoning if they can get the win. For the Warriors, it would be their second win of the season. Mathematically, they are still alive in the finals race. They would need some help, but they would be more than happy to play the role of spoiler at the back end of MLR Season 2. As the Warriors will have first use of the ball, and they'd have the breeze now as well. Semple will play some territory, may not need to. Look at Loudy, the missile. He just flies down there, and now the Warriors have the ball with a chance to put on some early points here. As New York are scrambling back. No urgency to get back on that loose ball. Elkington goes wide. Williams off the left foot, straightens the attack right towards the goalpost. Advantage coming their way. Early points nonetheless here for the Warriors, you would think. He channels his inner Mike Petrie, and he throws a big dummy and gets the opening try just 1 minute into the second half. What an electric start for the Warriors.
To me, that was all about playing the win. That was field possession at its best by Utah. The ball is kicked out after the retention, a great kickoff retention by Utah. The ball goes down, Ben Foden kicks it up. The ball is turned over again, and a great grubber over the top. A gain back again, and of course, then good phase play by Utah, and over for the try.
And Parry, just for a split second there, Dan. Parry just drops his guard. He thinks the ball's gone. That's all it takes for Iker. Slide through there. He loves it too. Scrum half, busy game. Early 5-pointer in the second half gets them off to the start that Alf Daniels probably would have dreamed for as he talked to the Sheds. You see it, Parry. Breakley probably released a touch early as well. And now Elkington off the restart. Uhila has that right knee taped up as he just steps on the sideline. We talk about a little Muay Thai action. There could be some here, Dan. I'm not sure if the weight classes will match up as Hume and Uhila have a little conversation.
Look, ball went out of bounds there, but that was 2 great kicks in a row kick retentions by Utah. There's a couple in the first half where the ball played up in the air, and New York didn't retain those. And the ball went down the field. Utah had a chance to score, and they did. In the first 5 minutes for New York, they didn't. They've used this win to their advantage early on.
Force it with the throw in. McDonald and Brackley are his preferred targets. Goes to Brackley. Now they Moores, Fawcett's at the back. Just takes a little peek there.
Still moving forward.
USA Eagle before giving it to another Eagle in Petrie. Midfield, Petrie trying to push his troops around. Great defense from the Warriors though. 2 in a row there as they meet them at the gain line. Now Rochford. Petrie again. Marsh inside to Quill. You can see this Warriors side has come out of the locker rooms very, very motivated. Their line speed outstanding here to start the second half. That penalty will definitely help Rugby United though. Give them a piggyback out of their own end. And Dan, if the rugby doesn't work out, you may have a career in meteorology. The wind has started to die down, just as you predicted to me that it would.
Well, this may be an advantage for New York. You don't know. It's really, really sensitive around the breakdown there for Utah. Giving away penalties when you know that you want them to kick the ball back to you. You know that they will not be able to run out of their own half very effectively, and you give away that penalty. Frustration for Utah there.
Brackley with clean ball. Petrie pulls that one down. Sumption charges up the middle. Another little opening there for RUNY this time for the Cowboy O'Keefe. Foden probably wasn't expecting that one as it goes backwards. Oh, Butcher. Opening there for Fawcett. Back to the right. Rochford.
No two!
Petrie again to his right. Marsh. Again, this Warriors defense. Certainly are seeing that ball may have been out. Jensen potentially hard done by there. As Wallace Sims taps quickly. We saw this work for Luke Hume in the first half. And RUNY definitely playing better rugby when they play quickly and don't get too bogged down. As Rochford. He takes this one. About 7 out from the lines now is McIntosh. And a touch for the hooker. McDonald now to Fawcett with some support from Rochford.
7, stay there.
Here's where I think RUNY get themselves into trouble here when they start to slow this ball down a little bit too much. Physically, the Warriors are up to task. They loop around. Marsh with some numbers. Oh, they've got to score. Wallace Sims, he'll get himself a double on the night now. That's 2 for Sims. And Rugby United, well, they've got a chance to tie this game back up. This game is just following a system, isn't it, Dan? Tit for tat, try for try. Teams just trading.
Yeah, I think your instincts were right there. We saw a little bit of the ball slowing down. We saw New York questioning themselves. What are we going to do with this next ball? Are we picking and jamming? Who's going to take over control? We said in the pregame, can Cathal March, can Mike Petrie, can Matina, can Ben Foden, the leaders, the distributors on this team, step up. And you saw Cathal March go on a great arcing run and saw the space, saw that there was space outside for Wallace Sims, and he was able to touch down, and he did.
Definitely the best Marsh's look ball in hand tonight running. Takes a late hit for his troubles as well. Sims, great finisher on that left flank. Now Matina, 1 from 2 on the night. Has this kick to level the score once again here this evening. One will stay across the face, unsuccessful. The Warriors, they maintain a 2-point lead here over Rugby United, 19 points to 17. 33 minutes left on the clock. We'll take one last look. You talked about that arcing run. They swept around from this right side beautifully here. You see the Warriors in back play. They're starting to move their troops around because that's where the threat is. And by the time they realize the threat has gone, it's too late. They use the flyers. Sims scores, but Hume got there as well. It's a good play there from Rugby United to score that try as Reeves gets us back underway. Deep kick down to Fawcett. Hume. Jinking across field, and they're going to attack from their own 22 here as they come out to O'Keefe, who turns it back to Wallace Sims under pressure, to Matina, now to Marsh. This is some loose stuff here inside their 22.
Outside 9.
Use it. Slowly brings this ball to the back of the ruck.
Use it.
Box kicks.
Stop 5. Yeah, you're right.
And Reeves does well to field it. Loudy can't get away from Wallace Sims. Marsh finishes the job. It's Loudy very close to the sideline here for the Warriors. Elkington, oh, big hit comes in over the top. Now Williams. Midfield is simple. Finds O'Malley on a switch.
Not wrapping the arms.
Reeves again to the line. Little dummy shapes to kick there, Reeves. Saw that his teammates weren't quite flat enough to chase that kick through. Takes the tackle. As Williams is held up here, no advantage.
Must wrap. You can't just
come back here for a penalty for the Warriors. And now this breeze is here.
Number
It's interesting
7's
to see what Reeves decides to do with this
shoulder.
penalty just inside the New York half.
Shot called. Shot.
We were walking across the field pre-game, and he was kicking right from that very spot and slotted it with some room to spare. Now look, the flag has died down. The wind has died down as well. He has got a very, very strong leg. This is something that they should be doing. They've got this point advantage, 2-point advantage, get up by 5 and make Rugby United chase the game. Look, that exit strategy, that running out of the Luke Humes, trying to run out of his own 22, doing the box kick by Petrie. That's what they did last week, and they weren't successful at it. They need to gather the ball on kickoffs and when they're receiving the ball, and to put the ball out of bounds, regather themselves, and play from the set piece. I think this unstructured play is not something that Rugby United New York is going to be very successful at, and so they need to become very, very quality, control, possession oriented. Otherwise, this game might get away from them.
So Malley, who'll take the long shot. Flags will go up 3 points as he strikes true from 48 meters out. They extend now, 22 points to 17. Low driving kick. Knows he has the wind at his back.
Very Dan Power-esque there, it seemed like to me, huh?
Well, thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. Gets the thumbs up to the sideline as well. 5-point buffer. And that strategy you just talked about that RUNY should be employing, Utah are now employing, knowing that they have this breeze, knowing that it's going to be difficult for RUNY to work this ball out of their end. We see some changes coming on. Matt Houston into the pack for RUNY. Spent 2018 with Nola Gold, who sit on top of the ladder this year, New Orleans. Transfers up to Boston. The Free Jacks, they'll be MLR 2020. They loan him to New York, so whoever is his travel agent or paying his rent, they're getting their money's worth. He's shipping around the country quite a bit. Marsh finds Foden. In turn, finds Parry. Now Petrie to Marsh, quick hands. Oh, Rochford just can't handle the big man. He spills that one just shy of the halfway line. The second half woes continue for Rugby United.
Yeah, Mike Petrie takes a little bit of break here. March going sideways. It's something, it was a hallmark last week against San Diego. They took the ball going sideways. March either needs to come straight onto the ball and have a wraparound, or they need to play off of 9 and play off of Petrie, especially in the midfield here. You take the ball going across, you allow that drift defense, you allow Utah to come up and make that hit, and what they did, and they get a turnover down.
One of the RUNY players down in back play, getting some attention. Looks like the outside centre there, and O'Keefe. Doesn't look to be too comfortable either. As we see some of the crowd that have came out tonight. We talked about the conditions, quite cold.
I was told that during the week that they had a players-only meeting, Rugby United New York. They needed to try to say to themselves, how do we control what we can control? What do the players need to do in order to start getting that momentum back that they started playing with earlier in the year? And it seems to me that the enthusiasm, though, that passion that it takes to play the game of rugby is being shown more by Utah. You see their bench jumping up when they're making hits. It's a very, very enthusiastic team. You can hear them talking that much more than Rugby United New York. You need to see some enthusiasm, some up the tempo, not just of play, but an attitude by Rugby United New York. Otherwise, again, they're going to be challenged.
So Fawcett has moved back to hooker. McIntosh to the bench. Houston will play at 8. Iker finds Reeves. Did more. Gannon Moore. Comes down with Burgo. The second Brazilian in this side, along with his fly half in Reeves. Good to see some of our South American brothers getting involved up here in Major League Rugby.
It's off the blue hand.
Play on. Great hustle there from the Butcher. Did he touch it first? He did. Referee Rogan spots just a little knock on there. Fractional knock on against Fawcett.
Well, if you could bottle that enthusiasm, if everybody had Dylan Fawcett's work rate, his ability to see the game, his challenging approach to really play on the front edge and the front foot, this Rugby United team might be up by a couple of scores. Just an unfortunate knock on by him being a little bit over-enthusiastic.
Crouch. Binds. Set.
We'll play back. Like a big scrum again. Against Rugby United, though.
Spoke about going forward first. It was straight across.
And after seeing O'Malley have plenty of distance on that last kick down, you'd expect another 3 points will be attempted here from the inside centre.
Absolutely, building that score line when you have, yes, the wind's down a little bit, but building that score line so you're able to play the game of rugby. It's not just in the first half, it's in the second half. Play discipline. You've got a lot of time on the clock. You know, and ability, once you see those scores go up, then you have the ability, you know, as I said, to open the game up. And of course, this is something here where, in the scrum, where they are absolutely trying to push forward and put pressure on Utah's ball. But the ability for you to wheel around, to turn that scrum, to pull your legs on the outside, on the right-hand side of the scrum for New York, you've got to do it legally through that direct pressure through the scrum. If you start pushing around, wheeling around, the referee's going to call you up for not pushing straight.
O'Malley to extend the lead to 8 points here. 48 metres out.
22.
That one just offline, had the legs. Lacking the accuracy, will come back to the 22. Score remains 22-17. Floats that one up. Jensen, though, underneath it.
Backwards
Eventually
off.
loses
Red.
it. Comes down to Houston.
Take him back.
Houston to Hume. Hume comes across now. Comes wide, Marsh. Brings it down, O'Keefe. So keep an eye on him. He tries to recover from that injury. Force it, great hand, Sumption, great line. Defense was up to it though. Lieber, the hooker, makes a great tackle there, one-on-one. Got some numbers. They have to come that same way. They get the penalty instead. Petrie will go quickly. Up the middle now, Petrie. Comes wide. Isolated here, New York. Sumption does well to get that ball back. Marsh finds Rochford. He'll loop around. Here's where they want to play. They come down the blind side. Blakely comes wide. O'Keefe. Cowboy, he saddles up for another run. Oh, big hit comes in. The South African Vandenberg. And now the Warriors, as we've seen many times before, will look to turn this into an attacking opportunity as they come wide. Loudy may have gone around McClellan there. Yes, the obstruction. It was danger signs out this side for the Warriors.
Same as yours, the shooter's fine.
And now the decision for RUNY, down by 5. Perhaps a little bit too far out to kick for Matina. And O'Keefe, he's finally succumbed to that injury. So he makes his way to the sideline. They'll have some juggling in the back line too with Walsh, Bennett and St. Clair. Their only back replacements, none a real true centre in there. You would think perhaps Bennett to 12. Look at this hit. Oh.
Yeah, it's a little bit unstructured, a little bit, you know, it's pedantic at times by Rugby United New York. Not that I'm saying that's that much better at times from Rugby Utah, but that control of the game. Sumption is standing 10 meters from the scrum, catching a ball, standing sideways with no real options off of him. And of course, bam, big hit, turnover. Of course, Rugby United got the ball back there by doing a little bit of magic work themselves.
Sack is missed, no, away now.
Well, big focus here if they can get this try. It also secures a bonus point for New York. There are 4 tries on the night. It's something that's been severely lacking from their games this year, even in their victories, not getting the bonus points. Keeps them outside of the top 4 for now. They inch closer to the line. Petrie at the back. May not need to go to Petrie. They're over. They've just got to get the 4 down, and they do. There's the 4th try, and we've got a tight ball game yet again. It looks like John Quill, the Irishman, he dots it down for a try here. 60 minutes gone in this game.
Well, as you said, Dan, they kicked the ball into the corner. Ben Foden stepped up. The swirling wind allows it to get in the corner. They take a good, clean line out. The ball gets pulled down. They've got advantage, but they just go to work. They just keep driving forward. This is a forwards try. This is about everybody working hard for each other. And John Quill gets the just reserves from it. John Quill's had a good game. He's had a couple of indisciplined moments. He's somebody that you would expect as an Eagle, as a leader, to step up, and he did just at that moment.
Easy conversion for Matino to take the lead. 20 minutes left to play. This one just to the left of the uprights. No mistake from the local product. We will take a short break. When we return, the second half continues. 20 minutes left to play. Will it be Rugby United? Can they hold on to victory here? Or do the Warriors continue their form and snatch the victory on the road? We'll find out after this.
The score, all right. Welcome back. The Warriors, pardon me, the RUNY leads 24-22 in the second half. I'm joined by Warriors head coach Alf Daniels. Coach, your team came out and scored a quick try early in the second half. What did you say to your guys in the locker room?
Well, we just wanted to be a little bit more direct and then try and move the ball wide and just put a bit of pressure on the inside defense as well.
As the score goes back and forth, how does your team keep earning more tries and also keeping that score?
I think the two big things for us is just keep our discipline, try and play down in RUNY's end of the field, and just be calm and control the game down here.
Coach, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Guys?
Yeah, thanks, Danny. Alf Daniels there with Danny Wexelman on the sideline. And, you know, as simple as it sounds, Dan, it's pretty good advice. I think if they can play these conditions, they're a better chance of winning here.
Yeah, they did early in the second half here, and they scored points. Now in New York, exit strategy doing pretty well there by Mike Petrie in the box kick.
So Warriors looking to attack down the middle of the field, and it opens up already for them. They come to this right-hand side, ball on the deck. Semple has to go back for it. Hiker, go to the middle of the field. Lieber. Hiker again, Reeves to his left. Vandenberg. The man who pulled off that thunderous tackle just moments ago. Oh, that did not look good at all for the fullback in Semple. He grabbed at that right leg immediately when he caught that ball. As Williams goes forward. Now Reeves at the back. Picks up O'Malley. Going backwards here, the Warriors. Vandenberg. Lays that one back to Iker again. See Semple trying to run it off. I'm not too sure what it was, but it did not look good. No opposition player near him. McClellan. Williams under pressure. Iker now to his right. Reeves plays out the back. O'Malley finds Semple back on his feet somehow and running around out there.
Let him go now, let him go. We're good, we're good.
The Warriors continue to push forward. Vainikolo on the field now. Tongan international. What a luxury to have an experienced player of his caliber on the bench as Petrie kicks this down into the 22 of the Warriors.
Inside.
And Semple, does not look good, Dan, does he at all? After he kicked that ball, you could see him hopping on one leg.
Yeah, oftentimes you get cramps, sometimes you get a little pop in that lower leg, and it is really difficult. You're trying to run it off, you're trying to see if it's real, or if it's not, it's something that you can shake off. And we'll have to see. He's staying out there, he's trying to man up and play this game.
Well, luckily for Warriors fans, that man's on the bench. Josh Whippy, as he returns from a horrific broken leg suffered last year. Just an outstanding attacking player. Loaded with ability as the Butcher gets some running repairs as well. It's great to see him back. Last week he got the start, and Gannon Moore was a late scratch at outside centre. There's Vainikolo as well. There you go. Not a bad first touch for Vainikolo as he makes that breakdown.
Yeah, Semple just switch inside. You know, it keeps the defense from drifting across, holds everybody up just for a second, spots that gap and accelerates through. You can see that he's got plenty of pace and plenty of acceleration. This is a team that can counterattack, and as you rightly say, Whippy coming on the field. He's one of the two Whippy brothers. He comes from BYU. They won multiple national championships with those two guys in their back line. Can he strike early for this Utah team? He did last week when he came on. I'm looking forward to seeing him play.
Warriors up quickly there, putting pressure on Rugby United.
Stay there.
Petrie at the back. Goes to the box kick again. Vainicolo safe underneath. That kick from Fetz. He'll want that one back, you would think. But that's the result that RUNY were looking for off those box kicks, to put pressure under the Warriors and force a mistake. It's worked there. Vainicolo under pressure, kicks that one out in the full. Some more changes coming in. It's working. He comes on in the 19. There he is in the scrum cap. Big man, big target in the lineouts as well. McDonald, he punches his ticket for the day. They'll go to Breakley. Taps that one down. Petrie. Houston. They come back this same side. Foden can't handle. And the handling errors from RUNY at critical time have really been a story of this second half. They do have a 2-point lead, but I get the feeling, Dan, that 24 points is not going to be enough tonight, that the Warriors probably have at least 1 or 2 tries left in them.
Yeah, great athletic take off the top of the line out. Crash ball by Houston in the center. They did that early with Matina, and they were able to spin the ball wide and reverse field. That time when they tried to reverse back towards that same side that the line out was, it was a little bit overrun by Foden. It's that level of discipline and execution at the same time that RUNY have got to clean up. They've only got this 2-point lead. They've got 15 minutes left in this game. It is about execution for them, as we've said from the start of the program.
Heads up, wings coming late. Wings coming late, Kyle. Set.
Johnny Iker will put this one in.
Stay there, on.
Now O'Malley finds Reeves. Standing a little deeper there, tries to get over Foden, cannot do that. Great positional play there from the fullback. Looks to counter this. Back towards the halfway line. Marsh down this short side. Marsh, it opens up. Gets the ball away from Ratina. Was he tackled early? Oh, he's got him for a high tackle. I thought he may have come a little early there, Josh Whippy. But he's got him for the high shot, perhaps on Matina. Oh, now he's slow to his feet as well. They are very low, and you look in the cupboard when it comes to outside backs already, Rugby United. Great kick, big moment coming up here, Dan, in the game. Up by 2. As we take one last look at this high tackle. Whippy just up over the top there, the old seatbelt.
Yeah, not overly intentional, but the rules of the game, low, below the main chest line, or you're going to get called every single time. It's a factor of the game. It's a great part of the game that they've installed. They want to play safe, attacking, and physical rugby all at the same time.
More changes coming in as Mike Petrie heads to the bench. Marcus Walsh, dynamic scrum half. He was with the Austin Elite last year. He's at the back there. He could provide a little spark to this RUNY attack. He's already locked up a bonus point for tries. That one turned over illegally. Now let's listen in here. Rogan digging into the pocket. This is not good for the Warriors.
The more is broken away, you have tackled the ball carrier, you can't do it.
The Warriors will finish the majority of this game with 14 players on the field as Williams. He'll be eligible to come back with around 1:20 left on the clock. Now Foden will thread this to the corner. They'll go to the line out. 5 metres here.
Make sure your timing's okay, yeah?
The Warriors down to 14. Williams, a player missing from the pack. Remember that as well when they set this maul up.
Not on the line.
It'll be 8 on 7.
Yep.
As we enter the final 10 minutes here of the game, RUNY could give themselves a little breathing room if they can get a try here. Force it. Throw, execution, not there from RUNY. Even though they're at 14, the Warriors dangerous no matter where they are on the field. Reeves will slow things down.
Stay there.
Go back to O'Malley, quickly drops it onto the right boot.
Advantage over.
Hume. Let that one go over the sideline, just outside the 22. And then a few times tonight, Mike Tolkien, you think he's going to go watch this film and talk execution, as you have talked many times tonight already?
Yeah, missed opportunities. You know, sometimes they're forced, sometimes the opposition turns you over. That time it is just a misdirected line-out throw, no jumper in the air. Dylan throws the ball. You know, are you playing 2? Are you playing 8? Is the new guy on? Know that he's the one that's going to jump or going to lift. All of that stuff is about execution. And then once again, a steal that time by Utah.
Great work at the line-out from the Warriors as Reeves takes it back towards the pack.
It's fine. He's not on the ball. Stay there.
Oh, Hillard opens up for the big man. He'll need some support. He won't have the speed. It comes in the shape of Vandenberg. Look at the forwards linking up. Vandenberg, his run down, slowed down enough from Marsh there as he goes into the 22. Numbers to the right, huge numbers to the right. O'Malley to Reeves. Reeves dummies, lets one go, now picks up. It looks like he's outside centre and more. Now Putty. The Warriors knocking on the door here, looking to reclaim the lead with Vayner-Kolo. He dots it down. The strength, the power. Vayner-Kolo's gone close. Well, Dan, from first look, it looked like he did enough to get that ball down. But Luke Rogan, he'll go to his assistant here to make the final decision.
So from my point of view, I have the player with his knees tackled onto the ground, and then he is crawled to place the ball. So for mine, it's a penalty against Red for holding on.
Correct.
Yeah. No try. Holding on. You can't crawl forward to place it.
He's gone in for a double movement there, Dan.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple explanation just there. You cannot, once you get the ball to the ground, you have to release the ball before you can play the ball again. You have to be back on your feet. He said he had some momentum of crawling forward. If somebody's not on top of you, you can crawl, you can walk, you can run. But if somebody's on top of you, you cannot do that. So here we are.
Okay, there's the knee. Yeah, okay. So good work from Rogan, good work from his assistants. You saw both knees on the ground there. And this is what's led to that potential try, that no try eventually. Hiller and Vandenberg linking up there. RUNY and their fans breathe a sigh of relief. That was a close call.
Inside the 5. Same ball.
Maul this ball up over their own 40-metre line here, pushing towards the halfway. It's Fawcett at the back. They have advantage too. Fawcett down this short side, throws a dummy, links up with Walsh. Wallace Sims on his outside. We'll see if that's enough for an advantage. It looks like it may have been, as we'll come for the line out here for the Warriors. Into the final 10 minutes here. And Dan, I don't want the Warriors to have the ball if I'm RUNY. I'm trying my best. I'm happy with a 2-point win. I've got a bonus point with my tries. They're still throwing caution to the wind, probably a little too much.
I'm sitting here kind of on my toes, on my heels. I don't know if they're going forward or going backwards. I feel like I'm a bit of a coach and a manager all at the same time. You want to inspire these players to run with the ball and play with ball in hand, but at times you want them to stick it with their jumper, control the possession, recycle the ball, and put the ball through some phases. And at times, it doesn't feel like New York really know when and how to do that. And that's that fundamental broad game management that we talked about. You know, and they're at this score line. They are 2 points up and not more than that because they haven't been able to stay within a game plan or within a structure that allows them to retain the possession.
Reeves looks to use the elements to his advantage. He drops that over the head of Foden. Foden will counter. Dummy slices through. It's been an uncharacteristically quiet night for the fullback tonight. Such a class player, you know it's not going to last for 80 minutes for Foden. He will inject himself into the game at just the right time as Rochford now. What a shift from the big man. 73 minutes and counting. Now, Marsh. Scrum halves have really been looking for those lazy defenders all night. And that's some smart tactics from Carl Marsh. As he drops it over, it was Walsh before, pardon me. That's Marsh, the 10, with the little kick over the sideline. Line out for the Warriors inside their 22.
Yeah, there was criticism last week that Mike Petrie stayed on that whole 80 minutes and bringing Walsh on. You know, getting that little extra spark, a little bit more quicker movement. You know, Mike said, hey, to Mike Tolkien, Mike Petrie said to Mike Tolkien, hey, I need a little bit of rest sometimes. I'm playing under a 34, 35-year-old body. Give me a little bit of time. You know, and they've done that this week.
Oh, Hume. He just loves it, doesn't he? He lives by the sword, he'll die by the sword. He's threatening the quick line uphill. I'm just about to yell out, don't do it. But he's just playing a little trickster down there, Luke Hume, having some fun, the veteran. 24-22 as we approach the final 5 minutes here. RUNY with this line out just on their own side of halfway.
Stay there, mate. As soon as I moved away, you walk 2 steps forward this way.
The threat of the Warriors always there, though. 2 points, not enough. They can hurt you in the blink of an eye, the Utah Warriors. RUNY look to push this ball up towards the halfway line.
That's once, half, once.
May have to use it here shortly as it stopped once.
That's twice, use it.
Now you hear the call of use it. Walsh down the short side, dummies. Walsh steps one, back inside now. Great run there from the little scrum half. Just as Dan Lyle said, just adds a little bit more. The aging lead to Petrie. Bennett, quick tap on. Wallace Sims. He dances back in the middle of the field, picks up Breakley. Breakley's tackle on the 40-metre line of the Warriors here.
He's on his knees now. No.
They look to finish this game on a high. Marsh slides through, picks up Quill. Quill offloads. They've got to score. Houston, one more pass. Just a little bit too long there as the cover defence came to Walsh quickly. Hume. Reeves comes up and shuts down the winger.
No, step back.
Now Walsh to his right. Big contact comes in. Houston, though, bounces away. He's left a few red jerseys in his wake there. High shot. Even though there's penalties in front of the post, I'm not sure I'd take the 3 points here, Dan. Not much of a difference between 2 points and 5. The Warriors, they won't take a penalty to win this game. They need to try as well. I think I keep this field position and keep possession as long as I can.
Yeah, you take some time here. Obviously, the referee just blown his whistle there to stop the clock there. Got a few people down. Take your time here. Look at your options. You've got 3 options here.
Time's off.
Or you've got 4 options. You can kick to the corner and try to get your try. You can go for your points, get it up by 5 so that they have to score a converted try to win this game. Or you could even take a scrum. And I think that the scrum option, if I'm looking at this right now, I might take a scrum option. I might say I might bring all of them in. There's still one man down in the pack. They're going to go for the corner here. They are going to try for the victory and seal it right here.
Well, Major League Rugby continues tomorrow night at 10 Eastern on CBS Sports as the Seattle Seawolves host the first place NOLA Gold only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And that game, Dan, is going to be a big one as well. 1 versus 3, depending on what happens here tonight. We'll get updated standings at the end of this game. Both sides will be in the top 4, though, when they meet tomorrow night. As RUNY look to maul this up. Dorset. Wouldn't he love to bag himself a double here tonight, the Butcher?
Step back, 7, step back.
None bigger than a try right now.
Keep going.
Walsh beckoning his players.
Out of it now, 3, get out of it.
Add some support, Parry, over the line. Parry's got to get it down. He's close, Parry. Timeout. The question is Sayo Hilla in the 4 jersey underneath Parry there as he tries to ground it? No doubt he got over the line.
I haven't got a clear grounding, really. Have you got it, Nick? Scrum. Scrum 5.
Hold up. You finally get your scrum, Dan. It's a few minutes later, but you get your scrum.
Yeah, I think, you know, look, Ohila does a fantastic job here. He's able to get underneath. It starts with, there's so many good red shirts in there, and they just hold him up. You know, look, there's no ability for the referee to see that. He's in a good position, so he calls for the scrum. I like a scrum here. This is something that they've had the advantage. So you're either going to move this thing forward, or you're going to have a quick break off the back.
They bring Whippy into the scrum here. They'll play with a full contingent of 8 in the scrum, leaving them 1 short in the backs. Does leave Luke Hume unattended on this far wing. Houston down the blind side. Houston powers towards the line, spinning, twisting, turning. Houston can't get there. They go again. This time held up again. This is not a bad result for RUNY though, Dan, because more time off the clock at another scrum. Just keeps winding away the seconds.
Game management. It is the one thing that is going to make or break Rugby United's season. They have the ability to control possession, be patient, have time for each phase, look at your options, and then strike. Again, we have some time here. We have a strike phase off of a scrum, or we get a push and we get a penalty again. Either way, Dan, we're getting time off the clock and we're able to take it down. We're still 2 points ahead. We have possession.
And Williams back on the field now for the Warriors. It's 15 on 15 to close this one out. 60 seconds left on the clock. Houston peels around. Elkington, low chopping tackle, brings him down. Game on the line here for the Warriors. Must defend, must find a turnover somewhere as well. 40 seconds left on the clock now. New York, fans on the edge of their seat here, willing their side on. Can they hold on here? Slow ball, Rochford. Now Sumption spins back. Just inches from the line there, Kyle Sumption. They go again. Looks like there might be something on the blind side. Shuts down quickly. The Warriors, they peel around. A breakneck speed here. Rochford, little juggle. Force backwards. Walsh, Foden, sideline. And there is the full-time whistle from Rogan. They hold on in an absolute nail-biter. It's Rugby United by the skin of their teeth, 24-22. What an effort on the road from the Utah Warriors to come all the way to New York and almost cause what could have been the upset of the season.
Yeah, the almost kids. Utah has played fantastic rugby against some of the best sides in this league, against NOLA, against Seattle, and of course against Rugby United today.
Final score 24-22. When we return from the break, we'll have our player of the match and all the highlights coming up after this.
Thanks for helping us out today. Much appreciated, as always.
And welcome back to MCU Stadium. Final score 24-22, the home side. Rugby United New York, they get the win over the Utah Warriors. As we take a look at the standings now, a big one for New York, Dan, as they jump up to third position, 37 points. That game tomorrow, very important. New Orleans and Seattle to stay in the top four as well. We're going to go down onto the field now with Danny Watchman and our player of the match. It's the number 8, Dylan Fawcett, the Butcher.
Thanks, guys. I am with Dylan Fawcett. He's got family in the stands. He's got blood coming out of his face. Dylan, how did your team squeak this win out?
Oh, firstly, it was a fantastic effort by Utah. You know, straight out of the blocks, they were in our face. You know, they were relentless. It was a fantastic display. You know, we thought maybe we might have thought we had one eye on Glendale for next week, but you know, luckily we dug deep, stuck together. You know, got our game plan done, and you know, got the win. But fair dues to Utah. It was a fantastic performance.
This was obviously an extremely important win for your team, moving now into third in the standings. How do you carry this momentum into next week?
Oh, listen, you know, we've had it'll be our third game now on Friday against Glendale in 9 days. So you know, this league is quite attritional. So we've just got to nurse the injuries now, really work on what we need to work on, and just stay fresh and look forward to playing in Glendale on Friday.
Dylan, congratulations.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Guys, back to you.
Yeah, Dylan Fawcett, player of the match, well earned. And Dan, honestly, talking about this one, New York, they get the 5 points, they get the win, but they're going to look at this film, they're going to be pretty critical of that performance.
Yeah, that's all that really matters. If you're able to get a win, you're able to go into the next week with some confidence. You're able to say to yourself, hey, we can win this game if we do the right things. They'll have a lot of video breakdown. They'll see what they look like, and they're going to go into a tough game in hostile territory against Glendale next week.
Yeah, tough road trip. They go to the Raptors there, who also they're coming off that loss to San Diego today. How do you see that one playing out?
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. You know, the Glendale have not played well at home at times. They've challenged themselves at home. You know, against San Diego, it was tough for them. You know, it was tough for New York. So that maybe this is the rubber match against the two of them.
Yeah, it certainly will. One to watch for sure. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the highlights from the game. It was Rugby United who got the win, 24-22 over the Utah Warriors.